morning, everyone. Why shouldn't a white woman marry a black man? This is a short love story, which must be considered a fiction, product of the writer's imagination. Any similarity with real events is just a coincidence. Many people have the belief that love can do everything. Belief that I also had until I fell in love with a black man in a society where there is still a social taboo that a white woman should not be with a black man. It is impossible that you are against multiracial marriages, especially between a black man and a white woman, which tells me that my father may be right when he does not accept that I have some kind of romantic relationship with a black man. Now you can understand my dilemma as a white woman in which I must decide between the two most important men in my life, my father and the man I love. On the one hand, there is the negative opinion that my father has against multiracial relationships and the love that I feel for a black man who has stolen my heart. Right now, I don't know how to solve this dilemma that is shattering the dreams of a woman in love. Should I chase my dreams and not listen to my father? Or should I end this relationship to please my father's wishes? Answers that I am avoiding knowing right now. When I ask my father about his negative attitude against multiracial marriages, he always gives me the same answer. A white woman cannot be romantically involved with a black man. Sometimes I think my father has racist attitudes or has some kind of prejudice against blacks that perhaps he does not know that he has it. But it's something that I refuse to accept, that my father, without knowing it, has some kind of negative attitude towards black people. My parents have always told me that all human beings are equal in the eyes of God. Many times I ask him if that belief applies to blacks too. Usually, he always gives me the same answer, telling me it's not the same. What is my father trying to tell me when he is clearly avoiding the answer? Is your negative attitude towards him due to social taboos, I ask myself? I don't think my father is a racist person, is a thought that I repeat over and over in my mind. How do I get my father to accept my relationship with a black man? Social taboos are strong in a post-slave society in all Latin American nations, but also in many southern states in the United States. Although some claim that multiracial marriages are on the rise, it is a hope that makes my spirit happy and calms my heart. Is there still racial prejudice against blacks in my father? Many times the answer scares me, and more when we talk about any discriminatory behavior that my father has against the black man that I love. Sometimes I think my father is more afraid of social criticism from his friends than seeking the happiness of a daughter who adores his father with all her soul. If my father knew the thousands of dreams that feed my soul every moment when I think about him, dreams and illusions typical of a woman in love, but also of the many questions and doubts that arise in my mind. What will our life be like? What will our children be like? What will be the family relationship of people from different worlds? Can my family and their family see each other and treat each other as equals? Sometimes the apprehension in my heart gives an answer that I don't like. Many times when I go out with him, my happiness ends when I get home and I can see my father's disapproving face, making me feel guilty for being with the man I love. Analyzing my father's negative reaction when I tell him about the black man I like, I can see in his face the concern that this type of multiracial relationship has in him, but also in the whole family. A family traditionally Christian in its religious principles, morally identified with social causes, but influenced by established unwritten social norms. Social norms which say that a white woman should not have some kind of romantic relationship with a black man. Despite everything, still, slave ideas are part of the mentality in many nations of Latin America and the Caribbean, especially when I speak of the United States and Mexico. In my particular case, I am a girl born and raised in Austin, Texas, of Spanish parents, who is in love with a black man with dark skin. Are Mexican Americans racist? I don't believe it, but I have to accept that my father has negative attitudes against black people. I have nothing against blacks. My father always repeats the same phrase to me. It is one thing to have nothing against blacks, and another thing is for my daughter to be with a black man. It is another of his favorite answer. Your mixed-race children will not be accepted by a part of the family. much less by a large majority of the population who do not accept marriages between a white woman and a black man. Why bring children into a world in which they will not be welcomed for their skin color? He yells at me with a desperate face. I don't know what to answer. My father often hints at me, there must be a reason why a black man wants to be with a white woman. Have you ever wondered why this black man is in love with you? Maybe that black man only sees you as a trophy, he tells me with an expression of security in what he is telling me. Maybe that black man wants to achieve a social position by showing himself with a white woman next to him. Have you not thought about that possibility? As if trying to cast doubt in my head and give up my idea of having a relationship with a black man, my father sometimes repeats those questions to me. At that moment, my father does not think about the pain he is causing with such an uncompromising and racially prejudiced attitude against the man I like. But I must be silent regarding my father. Kind of words and allegations that contribute to creating a false sense of insecurity in what I am doing. But there is no doubt in me that I like that man with black skin who has a white heart. Sometimes as a woman, I try to lean on other women, especially when I talk to my mother. Sometimes I ask my mother to try to talk to my father to change his mind, and she always tells me, "You must listen to your father and please him in what he is asking of you. You cannot allow our family name to be the shame among our friends. We will be the talk of the neighborhood," he tells me with a disapproving expression on his face. We know many friends who are white whose children and friends would give everything to be with a girl as beautiful and intelligent as you, my mother tells me, like trying to make me change my mind. Something my mother does not understand about love, we women don't have control over our hearts. For some reason, I am in love with a black man, and right now, no one has the power to change this feeling. If my parents only knew that, when I am in front of this black man, my heart beats so hard that I can hear every beat, and I can feel emotions that I have never had with another man. Some will say that perhaps what I have is an obsession. Others will suggest that the novelty of the moment, but within me as a woman, I'm sure I like this black man. Many times I ask myself why biracial romantic relationships are still a social taboo right now. Why do we as white women still have to look at people's skin color when choosing a husband? Why is it that when I walk through the streets with the man of my life with black skin, I have to listen to the criticism and gossip of those who look at us with faces of astonishment, but also of disapproval? Please someone answer that question to calm the heart of a woman in love. Why the ideas of the slave system, that the white race is superior to the black, is still part in many people in American and European nations, sadly for me, including my parents. It is a mentality which is accept it or see it as something normal. As a white woman in love with a black man, I need to know those answers. If love can do everything, I hope to be with the man I love all my life, no matter his skin color. In my particular case, I am deeply in love with a black man, no matter how much my parents are against it. If I have to choose between the love of my life and the love of my parents, it is a decision that will change my life forever, and it shouldn't be like that. A daughter who receives unconditional love from her parents should not have that dilemma when choosing the man she loves. For a daughter, the support and blessing of her parents is sometimes the most important thing, no matter what her choice is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you liked the content of this video, please click the like button. But above all, let me know your opinion in the comments. Thank you so much.